Okay, so let's start now. First, I will log into my account, AWS account, and then I will continue. Okay, so I have just logged in my account, AWS account, and this is Mumbai region. So first of all, I will go with Singapore region. Okay, in the Singapore region, I will create a, private VPC, and then using that VPC, I will use VPC peering with Mumbai region. Okay, so let's go with the VPC now. So how you can decide that VPC is private? Only one options are there, that is internet gateway. If your VPC have internet gateway, that VPC is public VPC. And if your VPC does not have any internet gateway, that is private VPC, and that can be only accessible through a VPN, through a private gateway, or through VPC peering. Okay. So today we will use VPC peering for accessing private VPC services. Okay, services means virtual machines, database, and all. Okay, so let's create that. So create a VPC first. Okay, actually I already have that default VPC. And one more thing I want to add, like if you want to use your default VPC for VPC peering, that is also possible. Like if you want to connect your private VPC with your default VPC using VPC peering, that is also possible. At that time, no need to create a new VPC. Okay, you can use your default VPC for that, but that CIDR is totally different. You'll have to uh, configure your route tables for that. Okay, so let's create a VPC first. First, I will create VPC with at least two subnets. Why we are creating two subnets? I already told you that if you have only one subnet with one availability zone, at that time you will be able to create virtual machines. There will be no any problem. But when you will create database server, that will be not possible. Database server needs at least two subnets with different availability zones. So that's why I'm telling you all every time if you will create a VPC, create at least two subnet with different availability zone. Okay, so just create now. Just create your VPC. Just write your VPC name. You can choose any name for your VPC. I'm first creating public VPC that will I use to connect with my private VPC. Okay, so VPC public. Okay, that CIDR CIDR block will be 10.0.0.0/24, sorry, 16. 24 I will use for subnets. Okay, and now you can create. So using this options, we are allocating this IP address. Okay, for a VPC. Okay, that next step is subnets. Create at least two subnets. What happened, Jayaprakash? Actually, you can use other number also, like you can use 24 also. But are some limitations, like if you will use create a VPC, you need at least a huge number of IP address you need for that. Because if you will have only few of IP address, then how you can create subnets? Okay, so just You can use 20, 24 also for this. Just I'm creating another. Okay. You can see I'm creating another VPC. Okay. Just for demo. Okay. You can just I'm using IP 10.0.0.0 slash I will use 20. Okay. So that is also created. No problem. But when you will increase this number, okay, your IP address, that number of IP address will decrease. Okay, so that's why we are using 16. That maximum range is 16 for VPC. Minimum is 24, maximum is 16. 16 means higher number of IP address. And if you are using 24, it means you are using less number of IP address. Okay. Hmm. 56,000 approx. I don't have a exact number. Approx 56,000 IP address you will allocate if you are using 16. Okay. Just I'm deleting this one. So I have created this. Now, in the next step, you can create subnets. Select your VPC where you want to create your subnet, VPC public. Write any name for your subnet, subnet public uh, one. Okay. And for subnet, you can also use another uh, CIDR block. First, I will select the reason. This is the VPC CIDR block, and this is for subnets. You can use 20 also. You can select any number in between uh, 17 to 24. Okay, but if you will use only 16, it means you are using all that IP address which you have allocated with VPC. You can see that 65,536 IP address will be used by this subnet. It means you will not able to create any other subnets because you are using all that IP address which you have allocated with your VPC CIDR block. That's why we are not using 16 in the subnet. We are using any lower number. Like if I will use 18. 18 means we are allocating 16,384 IP for subnet. But that is the huge number. I am using only 24 because if I will use 24, it means I am allocating 256 IP address, and that is also a huge number for normal user. I don't know when I will if I will create uh, that number of virtual machine in my account. That is not possible. Okay, this number will used only by the industrial account. Okay, in the industries. So I'm using 24. That is sufficient for my usage. Okay, 10.0.0.0 slash 24. And the next create your subnet, and let me check that. Yes, that is 1A availability zone. Okay, create that and create one more subnet in the different availability zone. Create that and write your subnet name. Okay, availability zone 1B and say 10.10. Why I'm using 1.0? Actually, let me clear that. Sorry, 10.0.1.0 slash 24. Uh, I'm just opening the notepad. Okay, just wait. In the SME session, I think you have discussed on that. Okay. So just like if I am writing IP address like 10.0.0.0/16, what is the meaning of that? It means we are writing that they are subnets like 8.8.0.0. It means we are allocating for network 8.84 network to 0.04 host. Okay. So this is the network part and this is the host part. In the host part, you can allocate IP addresses. Okay, this too is only available for your host. It means you can allocate the IP address using only two block. This two block is network part and that is blocked. Okay, 8.8 means is if you will add all together, that will be 16. If you're writing 24, it means you are allocating first three block for network. So in this case, if I will write 24, okay, in this case, these three blocks will be network and that is not possible to change. Okay, and you can write like this 8.8.0. Or that is also like if you want to write 8.8.0 in different way, you can write like 255.255.255.0. 8 is equal to 255. Okay, so that is a different thing. So why I'm writing 24? 24 means I'm removing this first. Why first time I'm writing 10.0.0.0 /24. Okay. In the second subnet we are writing 1 because in the first subnet we have used 0.0 and in another subnet we are using 1.0. So that is not possible to change in this block because this is the network part for the VPC. Okay. In VPC we have used 16 CIDR block, CIDR block. Okay, so that's why we are using this 0.0, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and you can create multiple subnet using that number, and you can allocate 256 IP address for every block. So I'm minimizing this. Let's go with that. Okay, so my first subnets have 10.0.0.0/24 and for my another second subnets will have 10.0.1.0 and if you don't want to use 1.0 you can also use 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, any other number than 0. Okay, I'm using one only, so you can create that. So I have created two subnets, that public subnet, and I have already told you if you are creating public subnet at that time you need to enable that IPv4 address allocation. Okay, so auto IPv4 address allocation. So for that, just select, go to action, edit subnet settings, enable that. Okay, and you can save. Do the same with another subnets also, that public subnet. Why I'm not doing this process with private subnet? Because in the private subnet we don't need that public IPv4 address. Okay, so that's why we are not using in the uh, private subnets these steps. So I have saved that. Okay, what is the next step? Next step is row table. In the root table, just replace that. Okay, this is the my VPC's root table. Let's write their name. You can use any name for this. Okay, root public. Save that And now in the next step, you need to edit subnet associations. After that, you will have to edit routes. Okay, so before that, just go to Internet Gateways and create Internet Gateway for your VPC, because this VPC will be public VPC. Okay, uh, T, create that and attach to a VPC. You will only get that VPC name which does not have any internet gateway. So this VPC does not have any internet gateway. That's that. And it does not mean that if you have attached any VPC with any internet gateway with your VPC, that VPC will have internet access. No. Uh, until you will, if you have edit your route table with internet access. Okay, so just go to route tables. Just go to route or route. Okay, just add route, select 00, select internet gateway, your internet gateway, and save changes. So if you will find that a status is active, it means that is successfully activated, and this VPC is ready to use. Okay, and now this VPC is completely public VPC. Oh, and what is the next step? I will create an instance using that VPC. That instance will help me to connect with that private VPC which I will create in Mumbai region. Okay, so let's create an EC2 instance. So just go to EC2, and without having any public VPC, that is not possible to connect with your private VPC. That there is only way if you have any VPN connectivity and if you have any direct connect options. Okay, so we will discuss later about the direct connect. What is the direct connect? What is the VPN? We will also discuss about the VPN. Okay, so let's connect. Just create an EC2 instance. Okay, that will be simple Windows EC2 instance. Okay, so I'm creating Windows Server. Select your operating system. You can do it with your Linux instance also. Okay, no, there is no any limitations for that. That you will have to use only Windows instance. You can use Linux. You can use Ubuntu. You know. So I'm using Windows. Okay, that instance type will be T2 Micro key pair. I will select that AWS key, and you'll have to make changes with your network settings. Okay, so for that, just go to Edit, select your VPC public, select your subnet. We already have two subnets in this VPC, and both subnets are public. So there's no need to select any specific. You can use any one of the um, subnets for that. Okay, I'm using subnet public one for that, and you can see auto assign public IP address is already enabled. Okay, so no need to change anything. Next step, that RDP is already added, because I have already told you that if you will create any Windows instance, that RDP will be added. What you need to add? You need to add that HTTP. If you need to host a website on your EC2 instance, or if you want to use any web services on that, okay, just enable that, and in the source type you can use anywhere. Anywhere means you are using in the CIDR C 0.0.0.0. It means this HTTP will be open for all the IP address. All the IP address user, public IP address user can access that web service. Okay. And now the next step, just launch your instance. Okay, now this first step is ready. Actually, I have created VPC in the Singapore, and I have lo host. Sorry, I have launched an EC2 instance on that, and now I am going back to Mumbai region. Okay, so in the Mumbai region, first I will create an VPC, and then I will launch uh, virtual machines as well as database server. Changing that region. Change it to Mumbai, or you can select any other reason if you don't want to use Mumbai. Why we are using Mumbai? Actually, we will get a lower latency if we will use the Mumbai region. Okay, so okay, let's go with that. That same steps we will follow, but we will not add any internet gateway with the VPC. We will create a VPC, we will create subnets, and we will attach those subnets with our table. We will only do that steps only. We will not create any internet gateway if you want to create a private VPC. Okay, just go and create that. Just write your VPC name. You can select any name for that. I'm using VPC private. Use CIDR. One more thing is important. I have used 10.0.0.0 for my Singapore region CIDR block. Okay, so I have already told you, if you have remembered, uh, don't use the same IP address for both of VPC. If you have planned for VPC peering, use any other number, like you can use 10.10.0.0 or 1.1. Okay, because if you will use that same IP address, okay, that will overlap each other. They will not understand where will connect. Okay, so if you have planned for VPC peering in different VPC, at that time you need to use different IP address. You can use any one, you can change any one number, okay, in your CIDR block. So I have used 10.10.0.0. You can use 10.1.0.0 also. So no need to use only this number. You can select any number for your CIDR. Okay. So I have used 10.10.0.0/16. Okay. So this will be my CIDR block for private VPC in Mumbai region. So let's create that. And the next step is create subnet and create at least two subnets. Okay. If you will create any VPC, I have already told you, create subnet, select your VPC, write your subnet name. Okay. In the availability zone, select 1A. In the CIDR block, 10.10.0.0/24. First two are network part and the last two is host. Okay. But in the subnets, that is only host. Uh, Scroll down and create. First subnet is created. Let's create another subnet. Subnet private 2. Okay. In the availability zone 1B, in the CIDR 10.10.1.0/24. Okay, so this this both subnet is created. What is the next step? In the next step, select your route table. First, you'll have to rename that route private, and you'll have to select subnet associations only, because if you want to create any private VPC at that time, no need to edit your route. Okay, go to subnet associations, edit subnets, select, and save associations. I think I have forgot to associate that. No, no, that is what. Okay, that I have already done. Okay, so this VPC is also ready to use. Okay, uh, no need to add internet gateway if you want to create any public, private VPC. Okay, what next? Next, I will create an EC2 instance, as well as I will create database instance, database server, and both will be private, and that both will be accessible through my Singapore EC2 instance. Okay, and for that I will use VPC peering. So let's create uh, an EC2 instance and a database server. Go to EC2, EC2, and next I will go with RDS services, where we will create a database server. Okay, so let's create that. So I'm writing their name, Windows Server Private. Okay, and that operating system will be Windows. In the key pair login, you can select your key for that, which you already have. If you don't have that key, just create a new key pair and you can launch that instance. Okay, the next step, that most important step, is network settings. If you want to select your private VPC, go to edit. In the VPC, select your private VPC, and in subnets, you can select any one of subnet, because both subnets are private subnets. Okay, so you can select any one of your subnets, and you can see that also auto assign public IP is already disabled, so no need to enable that, because you don't need any public IP for your private EC2 instance. Okay, and in the next step, RDP is already added. In the security group, I am talking about RDP is added, and the next you can add HTTP. Okay, in the source type, select anywhere and launch your instance. Okay, it will take some time. The state is in pending, so in the same time, I'm going to the RDS and I will create a database instance. Okay. So go to RDS and go to databases. Here you can find create database option. What you need to select for that? Uh, Select a standard create, select your database engine. I am selecting MySQL and in the template select free tier, scroll down. This is your DB instance identifier because you can create multiple database instance in your AWS account. Okay, depend on your limitations. Okay, so if you want to identify your database engine, you need to have your database name. So this will be identifier. Okay, so I'm using that same name. I can identify using this name database one, and this is your username for your database server. So every database server have their username and the password as well as the host. Okay. So host we will get later, but first of all you will have to write your username. So by default they are using admin. If you want to change, you can change that. But I'm not changing that. I will use that admin only. And there is an option like auto generate password for your database server. So if you will click on that, they will auto generate the password. Okay, but I will not use that. I will use the custom password like 123456789. That is simple password. I will use 123456789, and that I will use while I will when I will connect with my database server. So scroll down. No need to do anything with that. One more thing I want to add, we will have a separate session for database. So we will learn in details about these options and we will learn the database commands also. Okay, that MySQL command, SQL command. Just scroll down and one more important thing is here, you'll have to select your VPC. Okay, so they are using default VPC. Click on that. What happened? They are not showing. I think I'll have to refresh that. So in which region I have created that VPC? Let me check that. Okay, in Mumbai. Yes. So let me check that again. That VPC was not showing there. Okay, wait here. Password. Okay, in the connectivity now that is working. So there are two VPC. First one is default VPC, and second one is my custom private VPC, and that have two subnets and two availability zone. Select that. And in public access, you'll have to select no. By default, they are using no because that VPC does not have any internet access. Okay. If you will use the default VPC, at that time you can make that these changes. You can select yes, and that VPC that database server you can use as a public database server. Okay, but I'm not using that. I'm using private VPC, and this private VPC does not have any internet access. Okay, so that's why in the public access, just select no, and that will make your database private. Okay, select scroll down and go to the bottom and create your database. It will also take some time. Okay, just wait. Let's go back to the EC2. Okay, let's check. This EC2 instance is ready, but that is not possible to connect directly. Okay, because this instance is private and does not have any IP address. And before that, you'll have to create a VPC peering if you want to access your private server, private server, database server, or private EC2 instance. So I'm in Singapore region. I'm going back to the VPC and I will create VPC peering now. So in the VPC, scroll down, go to VPC connections, create peering. I'm writing peer one, okay, and you'll have to select your requester ID. So that requester ID will be my VPC public. Using that VPC public, I will create a request to my private VPC, and you'll have to accept that if you want to connect with your public VPC. So just select that, and that another VPC where I want to make peering, that is in my account, so that will be default options. Okay, in the next you'll have to select another region because my other VPC is in different region, so select that region only. Select Mumbai. I'm in Singapore and making request to Mumbai. Okay, so select that region, and they need VPC ID. So where you will get that? Now go back to the Mumbai and just select your VPC ID. So I'm going back to the VPC in Mumbai region, and I will find my VPC, and I will get that VPC ID. Okay, so this is my private VPC and this is VPC ID. Just copy that, go back to Singapore, paste it, and make a request. Create peering connection. So when you will create that, their status will be pending for acceptance. Uh, just create, select peering connection now, and the status is pending acceptance. Now go back to the Mumbai and accept that request. Just click on the peering connection, select your peering connections, go to action and accept your request. Okay, it's in provisioning state. Just wait, and now it's active. Okay, so this VPC peering is active but not ready to use. Actually, you'll have to edit your route tables, that both VPC route tables if you want to access their services. Okay, so what is the next step? Next step is go to route tables now, select your route, private, go to route, go to edit, add, and now use your another VPC CIDR, that is 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, now in the target, select peering connection, and select your peering connection. Now save changes. If everything will be okay, then you will get the active status. Okay. So my peering connection is now active for Mumbai region. I will do that same steps with my Singapore region. Go to the route tables, select route, select edit route, add, and now use other VPC CIDR 10.10.0.0/16. Select your peering connection and save. And now all connections are active. Peering is ready, EC2 instances are ready, and database server is also ready. What is the next step? Next, I will connect. First, I will connect with my public uh, virtual machine. Okay, go to EC2 in Singapore and connect with your public EC2 instance, public virtual machine. Okay, so let's connect with my public instance. To connect, select RDP client. You can select the shortcut if you don't want to use that RDP application. You can use this shortcut, and that shortcut have username and IP address. So to connect, they will ask for the password now. Okay, asking for the password, scroll down and get password. Select your key, and that key is AWS key. Okay, and now decrypt that. Copy back to the paste. Okay, so this instance is now ready. What we will do next, I will search for RDP application in this virtual machine. Just type RDP remote desktop connection. Okay, and connect with private instance. Okay, and after that we'll have to install web service on a private instance. Okay, so they are asking for the IP. So now go back and select that private instance, and that private instance is in Mumbai region. Going to the EC2 instance running, click on that, select that private instance and copy their private IP. This is the private IP. Go back to the virtual machine, that public virtual machine, paste this IP. In the show options, you can add a username that will be administrator. Save that, connect, and now they will ask for the password. If your peering is working, then only they will ask for the password. Okay, now everything is working. They are asking for the password. Now go back to your private instance, go to connect and decrypt your password, and that password will be used by that. So get password, upload AWS demo, that is my key for Mumbai region, decrypt, copy the password, use this, remember, and OK. Okay, so I have successfully connected with the private EC2 instance. Okay, it means that peering is working, and you can see their IPv4 address, and that instance does not have any public IP. You can see. Okay, if you want to minimize that private instance only, there is some options. First of all, you'll have to untag this. Just click on that and scroll. You can see that IP address is now changed. Now, this IP address is for a private instance. Now you can minimize that using this minimize key. And now I am on my public instance. You can see their public IP. Okay. So that is successfully connected with a private EC2 instance. Now I will connect with that private database server. Okay. So just open your browser. Okay, and install MySQL Workbench. That will help you to check their connectivity. Okay, if everything will be okay, you will be able to connect with your database server using MySQL Workbench. Okay, so let's check that. First of all, I will install Chrome browser, okay, and then I will um, install that MySQL Workbench. So let's do that, and we'll have to wait for a few minutes because this web browser is very slow if I will compare with Chrome browser. Okay, so this Chrome browser is now installed, and now I will install MySQL Workbench. Okay. Okay, I'm downloading MySQL Workbench now. You can use this option for that. Accept. And you can use this download tab for this. Okay, no need to use this login and or sign up. Just no thanks. Just to start my download. Just click on this, and that application will be downloaded, and you'll have to install that like on any other application. Okay, now they are downloaded, and you can open that and install. Okay, so this is MySQL Workbench application, and just go to that add button and write your connection name. You can use any name for this. And now you need host name, you need username and the password. So we have a username that is admin and the password is 123456789. But we need that host name for the database. So now just go and minimize that. Go back to the database, select your database server, and you can find that endpoint. But before that, you'll have to edit this default security group. Okay, so now just open a new tab. This security group need to be edited. Just, this is your default security group. Select that. Go to inbound rule. Go to edit. Just delete. Add rule. Select all traffic. Select anywhere and save. Okay, now this is ready to use. Now go back and copy this endpoint. Okay, so this is your host name for your database server. Okay, just go select and copy. Okay, now go back to that instance and in place of host name, you'll have to paste it. Just remove and paste. Okay, and write your username. That will be admin. That was default username. And in the password I was used 123456789. Okay, and test connection. If everything is okay, you will get the message like this: successfully made the MySQL connection. It means that in private database is accessible through peering connection. Okay, So it was about private VPC. Okay, so just do practice on this. Actually, just wait. Okay, so I'm sharing that uh, video file with you, and then you can do practice on that. Okay, just wait.